All right, here we go. It is episode number 8 of Park Sportsbook Presents the OGs podcast. There he is, Harry Mays. What's going on, H?
Hey, we made it to 8 episodes already. I can't believe it, man. Time has just flown by on this show.
Yeah, hey, we're getting close to double digits. We'll have a big party when we do.
Wow.
Get to 10.
I think people had a pool out there, like over under of how many episodes we'd actually get through and be allowed to do.
Yeah, well, we haven't gone too far with anything just yet, but you never know. Could happen here today. Parks may go, we don't really want to be affiliated with this.
Yeah, we've had it.
Speaking of Parks, of the Park Sportsbook, you got to get the app, download it. And for new customers, you don't even need a stupid promo code. You just open up an account, deposit, first bet, risk-free. You've been giving out winners, Har.
Yeah, some. It's doing okay here and there in the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. I'm looking at the golf today, which starts tomorrow. Yes, Parks Casino. You can bet PGA Tour golf on the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. And to me, the season starts tomorrow in Torrey Pines, California, at the Farmers Insurance Open. And I'm looking at a first round leader situation here with Sam Burns plus 2,200. I think that's pretty good value on a guy that can obviously handle the length of that course and can also, he's known to go low. He's won a few times already. He's one of the up and coming young players. And I think plus 2,200 is pretty good value on him. How you got to look at the football.
How do you handicap it in the beginning of the tour season, Har? Because you don't really know where anybody's at right now.
Well, the tour season never really ends.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a kind of 12-month season. And these guys do play in what they call the wraparound season because there's a lot of tournaments there where they can accumulate valuable FedEx Cup points because a lot of the big-time players don't play in a lot of them. So it becomes basically a year-round thing. And you can kind of get a read on some of these guys. I mean, they were just over in Hawaii at that tour championship event. So it's not like these guys put away the clubs like us donkeys do for 3 or 4 months. Yeah. And then they got to get out there and get their games back. But the other game that I'm looking at is the football this weekend. How about this past weekend of football, by the way?
Oh my God. Tremendous theater.
I know it's the hot take to say it's the best thing ever, but I really think it was the best weekend ever in the NFL playoffs. And I've been watching it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the Chiefs -7 against the Bengals. The Bengals have been a great story this year. Joe Burrow is a stud. One of my new man crushes in the NFL. As Brady goes off into retirement, here comes Joe Burrow to replace him for me. But I think it ends here in Kansas City. That team is just so hard to stop offensively, as you saw this past weekend. And I just think the offensive line for Cincinnati will not hold up. They gave up 9 sacks to Tennessee last week. I mean, if anything remotely close to that happens against Kansas City, KC has the offense to take advantage of that. Tennessee did not. And that's why they lost the game. But I think the Chiefs end up winning this thing by 10. I'll lay the 7.
Spag's still the DC.
Yeah, he is.
In Kansas City.
He is. And I'll tell you, there was a thought in the early part of the season, they were playing really poorly defensively, including when they played here in Philadelphia in September, that he might be a coach on the hot seat, that, Big Red might have to get rid of him if they don't make the playoffs. Then all of a sudden they move one of their big defensive ends inside and they acquire Melvin Ingram from the Pittsburgh Steelers in a trade for a 6th round pick. And boom, all of a sudden he's got a defense and they're playing at a high level.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Well, Spags, he knows how to pivot.
Exactly right. It was a pivot. It was a big time pivot. Now you remember that morning show idea from years ago that didn't ever really get off the ground, but I thought it was hilarious.
Which one?
Gags and Spags. Johnny Marks, when he was still there doing a morning show, came up with that idea, and they had the promo guy do a bunch of liners for it. It was hilarious.
Oh, so it was Gargano was Gags.
Yes.
And his partner would be Spags.
Right.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
Oh, that's unreal. Oh. Yeah. Could you see those two that would just be a daily meat locker.
Daily meat locker, exactly.
Yeah. We shake Spags.
And speaking of
hands
the meat
in the
locker,
dirt,
put his foot in the ground.
Yeah.
Did you see Baldy broadcasting a video message from the pool over the
No, I didn't
weekend
see this.
prior to Sunday's NFL games? He was talking about Saturday's games and then previewing Sunday's games. He was in a beautiful pool. It looked like it might have either been in Miami or maybe Hawaii, but it was
Oh,
some very
jeez.
nice tropical location. Baldy living the life, but still thinking about football.
I used to love at the end of when he was done with his football season, his vacation. It
Oh,
would be like a month to Costa Rica,
yep.
then Colombia, and you could just imagine like the Colombian women going,
Oh,
looking at the pinky.
right.
Like, what's wrong with that thing? And him just like doing a Baldy's breakdown on how it happened with Randy White.
Uh-huh. Oh, classic.
Could you
Love
see
that
it?
guy. We're still trying to get him on this show.
Yeah, matter of fact, in this episode, Harry, I wrote down a bunch of names. I kind of went through my contact list on my phone, and I wrote down a bunch of names
Right.
for potential guests for the program.
Okay.
And it's going to be simple. I'm going to give you the name, and you're going to tell me thumbs up or thumbs down if we should try and book said guest.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
why is it all on me though? I mean, like, do you not have any say in the matter?
Well, I made the list. I mean,
Oh,
and
okay.
we'll debate it as we go.
I don't
I'll have
do lists.
yeah, you do today. We also put out a tweet for some ask me anything or ask Ajiz anything, if you will.
Yeah.
We'll get to those in a couple minutes as well. But the football this weekend, Har.
Oh,
I mean, the NFL doesn't have to try and make it great theater.
no.
It just is.
It just
And
happens. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like that was tremendous what happened this weekend. And I feel bad for the Buffalo fans and
Me
Josh
too.
Allen's such a stud. What an arm. It's
Tremendous
amazing.
talent. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's come a long way in the last, 3 seasons or so, but yeah, I mean, the torch was officially passed, I think. We talk about passing torches in our business, quite often, and maybe it was already passed, but to me, it became totally official this weekend with Brady, being vanquished at home against the Rams, despite a great comeback. They lose, and he's now seriously, I believe, pondering retirement. Now, the things that he's saying leads me to think that the family influence is going to have more say than it had in prior years, and he may end up walking away. And then you had Aaron Rodgers lose at home again in the playoffs. That's the
Amazing.
fifth home loss for an Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers team as a favorite in the playoffs. And they go down unceremoniously, only scoring 10 points. To a pretty good defense and great special teams play out of the 49ers. And now all of a sudden you're like, those two veterans, maybe Rodgers finds another location to play next year. Maybe he walks away. Maybe he ends up hosting Jeopardy. I don't know what he's going to do. I really don't. Hopefully he's back in Green Bay, but I think you really saw Mahomes and Allen and, Burrow is coming up. These young guys have really taken a hold of the quarterback position at the NFL level, and it's something to see, man. Spectacular.
Could you see Brady retiring and Rodgers going to Tampa?
Ooh,
That'd
man,
be a juicy storyline, though.
That's one of the destinations I haven't even pondered. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
with
that would
those
keep
weapons
Bruce
and Mike
Arians
Evans.
around.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you wonder like how this is going to play out with the QB carousel, but
Mhm.
it's even more pronounced than ever with these young quarterbacks. Kind of being the next generation of great ones.
Yep.
And you look at it and you go, you got to have that quarterback. You just do. I mean, Jimmy G's a bit of an outlier, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Game manager more than just a dynamic talent,
Yeah.
but
He's about 2 levels down from the guys you're talking about. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe even 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Could
Right.
be. Could be.
How about Stafford?
It's a great story. There's no way they win that game, in my view, if Jared Goff is the quarterback. Stafford got him out to a really nice lead. Then they started to fumble the ball, and you started, maybe have the thoughts of Brady making another, 27-3, 28-3 in the Super Bowl kind of comeback, and it almost came true. But Stafford, he's rewriting his narrative, if you will, because he had never won a playoff game until this year. And now he goes on the road and beats Tom Brady. And it was still a really good Tom Brady playing at the top of his game. This wasn't like an aging veteran barely hanging on. Yeah. And that team was stacked. Like they re-racked that thing and ran it back after the Super Bowl. They had a lot of studs on that defense. A really big win for Stafford. I feel good for him. Now he's going to have to vanquish another one of their opponents that they can't seem to beat, and that's Shanahan's 49ers. I think have won 6 in a row against the Rams, coached by McVay. So there's something, they seem to have a little voodoo hex on the Rams. But if Stafford can break through there, then he's not only going to be in a Super Bowl, but playing in his home stadium in that Super Bowl. What a story.
Yeah, it's awesome. And like, he's tough as shit, you know?
He is.
You've seen the video when he separated his shoulder and, you know, he's on the sideline and he goes back. I mean, what the dude, he was just mired in Detroit. And, you know, you put him with a team and a coach that can really get a lot out of him. And you had to wonder, like in Detroit, you go, oh, he's really good numbers and everything.
Yeah,
but
big arm.
Is he a winner?
Right.
Yeah. But now you see him. I mean, the guy, and like, I love rooting for him. I think he's just an absolute gamer, big time. And I'd like to see them do well. Although I'm not a big McVay fan.
No,
I think I don't know, he's a bit of a douche, but
I think he's a really good coach, though.
Yeah.
You know, and the acquisition, Snead, the general manager, you know, he put all the chips to the center of the table, and they said, "Screw draft picks. We don't care if we have any draft picks. You know, in the first 4 or 5 rounds, we're going out and getting established veterans. You know, they go out and get Von Miller midseason. He has been a beast on defense in these past couple of games. You know, starting around early to mid December, he really started to become a force for them. They go get Jalen Ramsey, who I know had a little bit of trouble with Evans last weekend, but everybody has trouble with Evans. But what a cornerback he is. And, of course, they got the best defensive player, arguably the best player in the game right now, and Aaron Donald. That front, I mean, they just dictate terms. It's really something to watch, to just focus in on him on the defensive line and just watch him dominate despite double teams and all kinds of things that they try to throw at him.
Yeah, he just causes ruckus.
Yeah, he creates havoc. He wrecks the game.
Yeah. And just not at his position, because of the ruckus that he creates, it opens up everything else because he's such a disruptor. You're right. He might be the best player.
That's a great word for it. I mean, if you have a defensive lineman that's a disruptor, that's a good thing. And they move him around. He's not only inside, they'll put him outside. They'll find the weak link, like the right tackle for Tampa was a backup because Wirfs couldn't go. He got hurt in the game against the Eagles. So, you know, they just say they sense that, all right, it's a big third down. Let's put Aaron Donald over here on the offensive right side. The defense is left side. And he comes in there and bull rushes and knocks the ball out of Brady's arm and almost caused a turnover, but they caused a punt. So, I mean, you know, he's so versatile and such a strong player.
Yeah, the thing about him too, like, he's a freak. And you imagine, like, you know, the backup gets put in and they put this guy over.
Yeah, here he comes.
Shit.
Here he comes. Do I have tight end help here, coach?
Yeah. Can I get a tight end and a chip from a running back, please?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's a beast. And you've seen the film all week, and you know that that's a focal point, and now you got to deal with him on an island. It's like, oh man,
he doesn't come off the field, you know.
No, he's an every down guy.
Yep.
So this weekend, big weekend, championship weekend. So you got, so you think, do you think the Rams get it done, or do you think that this is the end of the line?
I kind of think the Rams, I'm hoping the Rams get it done. I'd love to see the Rams and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think that would be some really good stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners keep that close and maybe lose by 3 and cover the 3.5 at Parx Casino Sportsbook. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that Niners team, they get after it, man. They've had a really good run.
They got a great front too, defensive front. Yep.
Yeah.
And Kittle is amazing, and Deebo Samuel is a joy to watch. He's another one of these guys that they can put in so many different positions on the field. Formations, you can run creative formations, which Shanahan loves to do in the run game. And what a weapon he has been.
So you really think Brady retires? He was still so good this year.
I know. I'm kind of thinking that this is it, man. Something tells me he's going to retire.
All the Hertz commercials now and all that. You're going, all right. Time to take a load off, live off the old lady for a little while.
Live off the old lady. That's what I do. That's what I do, is live off the old lady.
You and me both these days. It's great. Real quick, I wanted to get your thoughts on a passing that happened over the week, and that would be Meatloaf.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a big Meatloaf guy, huh?
What was he? Was he 76 years old, I want to say?
He was 74.
Oh, 74. Okay, that's a pretty good run. A little young these days, but no, I never got into the Meatloaf. Back in the 70s, that Bat Out of Hell record came out when I was, I think, in 7th grade. I want to say that was 77. Dashboard or Paradise by the Dashboard Light was like the enormous song that year. And everybody loved it. And you'd go to the high school dances and everybody would sing it. And I blanched at all that. I was just like, this song stinks.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't, to me, it wasn't my version of rock and roll at the time. And I know it became a huge, a bazillion-dollar seller, and good for him. But I was never a big fan.
It was a little too theatrical for me.
A little bit. It had a little Rocky Horror Picture Show in it, didn't it? From that time.
Yeah, it really did. And the big breakthrough hit that he ended up having was, I Would Do Anything for Love, and the video was pretty epic. That was a pretty epic video.
For the time. Yeah, that was pretty provocative, I guess, at the time, right?
Yeah. The Bat Out of Hell 2 album, which was Back into Hell, was 93, was which he put out. I always wonder how he came up with the name Meatloaf. He was obviously a portly dude.
Was that his nickname?
Yeah.
Like, did somebody call him that and then he just sort of became the character?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know where he ever got the name Meatloaf, but
yeah.
Like Meatloaf, I like meatloaf as a meal. Matter of fact,
me too.
I made it last night.
Oh, the old lady loves it. That's her favorite thing to make, actually. She loves like a turkey meatloaf. A little bit better on the calories. It's a little turkey meatloaf. Yeah, It's really, really good. And then the gravy, the whole deal. Like what you give up in using the turkey, she makes up for with the gravy. So it all balances out.
All right.
Well, mashed potatoes.
But I love meatloaf, but the name is not an appealing name.
No.
You know what I mean? It sounds like anything loaf does not sound good other than a loaf of bread.
Correct. Like a sourdough.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And, but you look at him and, you know what his real name was?
No.
Marvin Leaday is his name.
Maybe if I was like Marvin, the only Marvin that can really get away with it is Marvin Gaye, right?
Yeah. Well, Marvin Hagler.
Well, that's true. Yeah. And if not, he'd knock you out. Marvin Bagley now in the NBA. Marvin Bagley. Yeah. But if you're a chubby kid though, like from the suburbs in the 70s, 60s and 70s named Marvin, you probably got picked on though.
Yeah. Hence the name Meatloaf.
Yeah. He's your meat.
Yeah. But rest in peace to Meatloaf. Another one, I don't want to say gone too soon. Like you said, he had a good run, but his daughter is married to my doppelganger. One of my doppelgangers.
Meatloaf's daughter.
Yeah, he's married to Scott. She's married to Scott Ian of Anthrax fame.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's his father-in-law.
Okay, well, is she in the music business too?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't know if she's like Mini Loaf. What you call her?
Yeah, that would not be a good, attractive name for a young lady.
Not for
anything loaf. No.
Yeah. Who's your dad? Oh, my dad's Meatloaf.
Yeah. Now AJB on the stream says you got to have ketchup on the meatloaf.
I agree. I put ketchup on ketchup.
That's an acceptable, a condiment for meatloaf. I think it's the only condiment probably outside of gravy.
Well, you can do the ketchup mixed with like a little bit of Worcestershire or ketchup mixed with a little bit of A1 to give it a little bite.
Little kick.
Yeah. Like some people put a glaze on it when they cook it. I don't
like
do
that. A little crispiness, like a little crispy covering kind of thing.
No, they put a glaze of like ketchup and something. But then the ketchup gets hot. Hot ketchup, not good.
Okay. Is that something you'd have to apply with a brush?
Either a brush or a spatula. I don't know why I'm on doing Anthony today.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's great.
Because we started off talking about Baldy.
Yeah, probably.
So, but do you, when you eat the meatloaf, like the perfect meatloaf dish is meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and corn. Now, do you mix the three together to make a pseudo shepherd's pie, or do you eat them separately like Rob Ellis, who wouldn't let the meatloaf touch the potatoes, which could not touch a kernel of the corn?
Oh, you're not kidding. You remember that plate? We got plates sent in to us. Pictures of certain plates, like the cafeteria plates, where they would keep all the things in their own little separate compartments.
And
Rob laughed his ass off at that. That was true. Rob's going to come up again in the show, by the way.
He is.
Sources are telling me. No, I think it's acceptable there to dump all that together.
I agree.
With the gravy and all this stuff. Or if you're going to have ketchup and corn, though, I don't know about that. But if you have a gravy, I think the corn, the ketchup, and the mashed potatoes makes a nice like stew, almost like a stew.
Yeah, I just mix it all up. My kids are like, "Why do you eat like that?" Like, I have to have a piece of every element in every bite.
Yeah, you did do that. You'd mix everything. When I'd watch you eat breakfast or lunch, it was eye-opening, to
Quite
say the
gross.
least. Yeah,
I
a
mean,
little
there's
bit.
times when I'll just open the fridge and I'll go, "Oh, I got some leftover scrapple. I'll have that with a little bit of that leftover chicken and some mashed potatoes," and I'll just cut it all up and mix it together. And it tastes
Wow.
great because they're all things I like, and they tend to lend to each other.
Right. There's a chemistry
Yeah,
amongst the food.
I'm a food chemist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, any other things in regarding the sports that you want to get to, huh?
Well, I mean, the football just kind of blew me away this past week, and it goes without saying. The overtime rules. A lot of people are up in arms
all this.
now that Buffalo didn't get their offense to touch the ball in that overtime. In fact, our buddy Kevin Kincaid over at Crossing Broad is apoplectic about this situation. He has written articles on it on the website. He has pondered on Twitter with ridiculous analogies to other sports. I mean, he's talking about gymnastics. He's talking about baseball and equating. I swear to God, it's true. You can go check him out on his Twitter. But so he's not alone. I mean, a lot of people, whenever something like that happens, they all want to change the rules. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, look, Buffalo has a defense, by the way, that allowed Kansas City to go 2 plays and get in field goal range in 13 seconds to get to overtime. Yeah. They lose the coin toss and then allow them to go 7 or 8 plays and march right down the field for an easy touchdown. I mean, they had Mecole Hardman expose them on the same play that the Cheetah did a couple of minutes ago, the exact same play. They had nothing. So you mean because they had nothing, we have to give the ball to their offense? Make a stop.
The rule for them?
Yeah, make a stop, hold them to a field goal, and Josh Allen will get his chance to drive down there, score a touchdown, and win the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, what do you want from me?
Yeah, I think this is and I like Kevin Kincaid, but this is a bit of participation trophy mentality.
A little bit.
You got to overtime. We both need to get a chance. No, you don't. You need to stop them at a minimum at a field goal, and then you get the ball to either tie it and move forward or score a touchdown and end it.
Right. How about forcing a turnover, at midfield, and then you can just kick the field goal and win the game?
Yeah, and look, I get it. Kansas City's constructed with a great quarterback and a great offense.
They're tremendous. Yeah,
but
they're tremendous.
You got to make a stop. This is the playoffs, and it's one of the things that makes the NFL great. Like, people just got to get it out of their head that a coin flip determined the winner, because the coin flip didn't determine the winner.
It just determined
the Bills'
possession.
Defense did not.
Right, exactly.
So
precisely.
All right. You have any thoughts on the Flyers losing 12 straight, Har?
I just saw that they lost 12. It'll be 13 tonight, as they'll lose again to the Islander. And I understand that the general manager, Chuck Fletcher, is meeting with the media tomorrow around 11 o'clock. And I'm just wondering, what is he going to say?
Yeah, I think, look, like, Flyers Twitter's freaking out about it, obviously. And he better do this, or he better say this, or he better go up there and resign, blah, blah, blah. I'm just telling people right now, and I forewarned them on the post-game show last night after the game, and forewarned them on the Flyers Daily Pod today, that you're not going to be satiated with what he says.
Right.
Because he's not going to throw a player, a coach, a person in the organization under the bus.
Right.
Why? Because general managers don't do that publicly.
Mm-hmm.
That's career suicide.
Right.
If you do something like that. So he's not going to do that. I think there'll be some elements in there of, people are going to look at it like, oh, whatever. You're just saying, yeah, we got to be better, and that falls on me. And people are now blaming the media because they want the media to go in there and be like, that answer is not good enough.
Right.
I want more. We want a pint of blood, right? Give us a head. Put Ned Stark's head on the dais when you're doing it. Or
nice Game of Thrones reference there.
Yeah. Or they're not going to be satiated, and they're going to be pissed off. But I said this, just because he doesn't sit there and throw players under the bus or coaches, or, and says things a certain way, does not mean he doesn't understand and agree with some of the people's thoughts about certain players and coaches.
Right.
They're just not going to say it publicly. So I don't know. It's just going to.
I mean, it's as bad as it's ever been. I think if they lose tonight, which I think they will, they'll break the franchise record for consecutive losses dating back to 1999. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing, right?
Wow.
They've never lost more than 12 straight. Tonight could be that opportunity, and it's back-to-back for them. They're up against it, and
yep.
They are missing a lot of players. Like people will say, "Oh, you're just making excuses." No, they're missing a lot of players. I mean, when you're missing your 1C in Couturier, 2C in Hayes, and on down the line, I mean, obviously your number one defenseman and Ryan Ellis hasn't been there all season,
right?
But I mean, it's hard to overcome that normally, but it's still not an excuse to lose 12 straight and have lost, had a 10-game winless streak prior this season.
Unreal. Well, at least Yandel passed a personal milestone last night.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, though, Har.
They got that. Yeah, it is impressive. Except he's been here for like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Like, do you really count him as a flyer?
No. I mean, his play has not been good this year.
No.
But you got to respect a guy that's been able to answer the bell 964 straight times in the NHL.
Yeah. I could not do that.
I mean, he had
not even on radio. Out. I could not do that.
No, me neither. He had 9 teeth knocked out and his jaw wired shut and played through it.
Was that right? 9 teeth?
Yeah.
At once?
Yep.
When was that?
I think it was like in 2013, I want to say.
Wait, to get a puck to the grill?
Yeah, right to the choppers.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? And playing through it, Har?
Oh, my God.
You got to be a tough bastard.
Wow.
So I get this tweet from a guy last night.
Yeah.
And Keebler889, and he says to me, "Remember how we were told to be patient during the last rebuild and how brilliant this organization was by Flyers media? Holmgren, Hextall, Fletcher all failed. I've never seen a group of reporters be so wrong, which in my opinion is how we got to this, to be such a mess. Always got a pass." So now it's the media's fault that Nolan Patrick was a mutt.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I love that. I mean, if the media was critical of any of those said guys more often, what would that have changed?
Nothing. And the media has been, but I swear, I think that sometimes people just want the media to go in there and fist fight players or the general manager.
Yeah.
And that's the only acceptable answer.
Right.
Look, the farm system wasn't being touted by the local media as being great alone. It was the national pundits and the draft and prospect experts nationally that had them ranked that high. And they were ranked that high for a legit reason, but it just hasn't. The development has broken off, and that's the problem.
So that's the problem. Okay.
And that's an organizational problem.
Right. That's an organizational structural flaw. Now, when is the trade deadline?
March 21st. So we still got roughly 2 months, Harry.
Jeez.
Yeah. And Giroux's slated to play his 1,000th game on March 17th.
Wow.
Against Nashville. It would be at Wells Fargo. I think he'll be moved before that.
You think he gets moved before he plays his 1,000th game?
Yeah. Because I think you move him a couple of weeks before the deadline.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow. And he's going to okay this, you think? He's got to okay it.
Yeah. I think those conversations have already happened, even though publicly they've said that they haven't. I think that stuff has already been going on. That's my suspicion, at least.
Now, what about the coach situation?
Well, they hired a new assistant coach today because they've been short ever since they let AV and Michelle Therrien go.
Mm-hmm.
And they just brought in Nick Schultz from player development to help out with the D, but they just brought in a guy that John Torchetti is the new guy that's in here to help with the bench for the rest of this year. So
okay, so he's not the head coach.
No, he's just an assistant. Mike Yeo will be the coach through the end of the season. You don't. In a lot of ways, Flyers fans, you don't want them to win.
Yeah,
you don't. You want them to have the most lottery balls in the equation. The season is gone.
Right.
You don't want them to win, and you just want to see some things in this second half that are encouraging, like some of the young players, like Morgan Frost and Cam York, and maybe some others that get a call up, and you want to see them play well. And Carter Hart's been amazing, so that's good.
Yeah.
But it's a shit show.
Right now they're in the 6th position, but there is a lottery. But if it just went by straight record, they've essentially got the 6th worst record in the NHL.
And that's just because they got off to a good start.
Yeah, right. They did.
And teams like Montreal and Arizona did not get off to a good start. So right now they have a 7.6% chance to land the top pick, 7.9 to get the second pick, and then 30% chance at the 6th pick and 43% chance it's 7.
Okay.
But that could improve. I mean, and it's not like they're tanking. They're just not good enough, and they're going to sell off some pieces. So
right.
We'll see where it goes. All right, that's enough of
that was a lot of hockey.
That was too much for me.
I've really a lot.
I need a break.
You had to do the post game last night. You got one tonight too.
I know, and then I got to do a podcast after that, Harry. It's not easy to do a daily podcast when things are this.
No, it's not. Wow,
out of control.
It's good work by you.
All right, let's get to the ask geez anything. All right, so I put out a tweet, and I actually have some audio for this first one, so we can take a break for like a 2 minutes here, Harry.
Oh,
because Thor Marcus tweeted in Thor Marcus 24, and he said your favorite Bernie from Broomall memory. Also, who are your favorite callers from your past shows? Let's start with the second part first.
All right.
Who were some of the guys that you liked that when they called in with, whether it was with you and Bruno or you and Ellis, you and Baldy or Westbrook or with me, whatever?
Yeah, well, I used to love Tone from the barber shop back in the day. Because he'd call up. He always had a strong take. I loved his delivery. And then every now and then when teams were making their run, he would supply some musical accompaniment. Like he put together songs, and some of them were pretty darn good back in like when the Phillies were making all their runs and stuff.
Not like Butch from Manayunk, but good songs.
No. This was quality stuff. I loved Tone. I loved Jose. I was one of the few people that really kind of got how to deal with him.
Yeah.
But I loved him. He's classic with, especially with the Bruno show. And but you're gonna laugh at this. I used to like Henry from Tampa.
Henry.
Harry. Remember him?
Rob loved him.
Oh, he couldn't stand it. And that was part of what made it great.
Yeah.
Is Rob wanted to hit the button and just be done with him. And I'd just keep talking to him.
Yeah.
Hey, Harry.
Some of mine were, I loved Bob from Glenmore.
Oh,
hey, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Oh, I love that guy. He eventually moved to Tennessee then, didn't he?
Well, he was from Tennessee and moved to Glenmore.
Oh, but I thought he moved somewhere
back.
else.
Yeah,
I thought he moved he had some health issues too. I met him at one of the fan fests. I love that guy. Great guy.
He was always drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, it was great.
He was awesome. He was a good guy.
He
was dealing with some cancer. I'm not sure what the latest is on him.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I liked him a lot. He was a great guy. There was a guy that used to call, I think his name was Aaron from West Philly. And he'd always be like, yeah, Martinez, that's my bull.
Yeah.
He was just a great caller, right? And he was a good one. I mean, some of the ones on Mike's show that were just dreadful were.
Oh, Ingy
just.
Yo.
He was always talking about the album that he was going to drop. The music album. Or not, that wasn't Ingy, that was Ish.
Oh, yeah, different.
Yeah.
Different.
But no, Ingy's an idiot. Ingy was just a flat out idiot.
Yeah.
And that wasn't an act from Ingy. That was legit.
I know. I met him.
Yeah. He popped out to what was it? Hooters at one time when we did the broadcast for the NCAA
tournament. We'd always be out there for the first day. But how about Arthur?
Yeah,
Yo, brother. He
just smoked 2 packs of Camel no humps.
Right.
Give me a pack of humps.
Yeah. And Angry Al was always pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like Al too.
He still checks in on the streams.
I got a text message from Mike Murgett, who was my associate producer. Murgett, and
Loved
he
him.
loved Arthur.
And
I get a text from him not that long ago. Goes, yo, Arthur's on the radio. He called in to like Eskin Saturday show. What's up, genius? You in jail yet, genius? It's just
I'm coming back from the Borgata.
5 a.m.
Yep.
So there were some good ones. As far as the Bernie from Broomall part of the question, that Thor asked, favorite Bernie from Broomall memory. I think we have audio. I mean, I don't know that there's a better one.
No, there isn't. I've heard this.
Yeah, I mean I got to thank the guy who. Let me see who the guy was that tweeted it out.
Give him credit.
I got it here because he got it on his DeWalt boombox.
I saw that, the yellow DeWalt boombox.
Yeah, Brendan Casey, and he's filming it with his cell phone. So let's play this audio because this was not planned by you and I.
No.
This just happened, and Bernie happened to call. Bernie usually called Mike's show, but Bernie called in and we had a little bit of fun on this occasion. So here it is, and I'll let people hear it. All right, and just go like that.
What's that with the Stew Busters?
With the what?
The Stew Busters. That's everybody all over the place.
He was banging pots and pans. Yeah, noisemakers.
Oh, man, I was just doing my thing in the nighttime, the daytime. I said, this can't be. There's 5 million fans in that stadium. I couldn't go to see if I had money.
And then what does he says?
What's that, Steve?
Steve?
No, I'm sorry. I talked to my guy. Go ahead, Ryan.
He's got people there. Vern, did you try to climb one of those Crisco'd up greased poles?
I was at the top when they called my name. I said, I'm Bernie from Broomall. Don't forget it. Because if you do, you ain't allowed in the street no more. I'm Bernie from Broomall. Right. I said, if you forget it, you ain't allowed at my street. Who is it? What's that? Who is it? Who is this? Bernie from Broomall. You know who I am? Yeah. Oh, you're Bernie from Broomall. Who? You're Bernie? Huh? Are you Bernie? I'd like for you to get on the phone because I hardly hear you anymore. People call me, when are you going to get on the phone? I said, every time they push my button, I'm on. I said, I love it, but I don't get enough of it. Are you still here? Yeah, I'm here. What? I'm still here. So, buddy. Huh? Hello?
All right, Bernie. Thanks for checking in, man. It was an epic call. Hey, Bern.
Listen. I listen every day. I can't get to them sometimes because you're so crowded up.
I know.
That's a good thing.
We got to get you in.
When you going to get me in?
Anytime. You're welcome in here anytime.
I know, but
Bring your microphone.
I want to get back in the station.
Oh, man. All right, Bern.
I'm trying to get back. The people call me. They come out to my door. They don't even believe it's me. They say, my daughter wants to hear you. I said, say what? Say what? And then they say, oh, that's him. Who's this? Bernie from Broomall. I'm Bernie from Broomall. Yeah. I do it all when I'm in Bernie's room. You know who I am? Yeah, you're Bernie.
We got to keep this up for 5 minutes and podcast it.
Yeah, I would love it if we could still do it.
Yeah, we'll get you in.
We'll get you in.
Yeah, we'll put you out on Coach Camille's couch.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes.
Are you still here? I'm still here.
Oh, my God.
That's enough.
That was unbelievable. I love that. Huh?
I'm there just firing off drops,
Oh.
and he's responding to drops of himself.
Who's this? I'm Bernie from Broomall.
God.
That was classic.
Oh, I almost felt bad.
He'd come in with that little Mr. Microphone thing. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh. He had the nice coiffed hair.
Oh,
He had great hair.
Always perfect.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Liberace.
A little bit.
Right?
A little bit. Yeah, minus the diamonds and the sequin suits and stuff and the candelabra.
But he was so old school, he'd never show up empty-handed. He always brought pastries.
Right. He would always have stopped off somewhere on the way in.
Yeah, that's an old school move. You never come empty-handed.
Right.
Like my mom would never come out to the house without a box of yummy donuts.
Oh, the
yummy bakery.
The yum donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring them every time.
Maybe some bear claws. Remember the bear claw back in the 70s?
Yeah,
the bear claw.
So classic. Bernie just
that was great.
Apparently he called in not that long ago too to one of the shows.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Kevin tweeted in and said your favorite caller and least favorite, but we kind of did that with
we did that
with Thor's question. But let's get to this question from Justin Decker. 35.
Yeah, I see this. Yeah.
Justin's a goaltender, by the way.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So he's a pipesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows how to stand on his head. So he presents this scenario. He says, Pat Egan, the bro, Rob Ellis. You got to murder one, share a house with one, and spend 12 hours at a bar with one. So which one first are you going to murder?
The bro.
Bro's out?
Yeah, he's out. The bro is out.
Okay.
That was an easy decision. The tough decision comes down to this between Egan and Ellis, because Robbie E is great to spend time at a bar with. I've done it. Okay. I've been at the what do they call it? The Triangle or whatever tap room over in Delaware County. I'm hoping to get the name right, but we went there for the NCAA tournament. He's great in a Delco Tavern situation. So I would love to do that. However, that would mean I'd have to share a house with Egan, and that is not happening.
No.
Because Egan is a small man and a little slob, and all he does is eat like sugared cereals and drink like Mountain Dew, and he's all hopped up watching movies all night and then giving his reviews. I could not deal with that. There'd be jerseys, like stinky Phillies J-roll jerseys. Yeah, yes, exactly. Bruntlet. Yeah, all over the house, and I could not deal with it. And I'd have to, if I'm sharing a house with somebody, it would have to be somebody that wouldn't wear their hat on backwards 24/7. So he's out. So I'd have to spend the house with one of the other more meticulous men I know, like myself, Rob Ellis. The house would be spick and span. Everything would be in order. And you could always have people over because it's, the place never looks a mess. And I could spend the 12 hours at a bar with Egan because he doesn't drink.
Yeah.
So he could drive me home.
Yeah, DD. You get the designated driver out of that. See, second level thinking, Har.
Right.
When Egan was producing our show, I remember I'm in there one day, and I'm in there early, and me and him are sitting there talking in like the jock area by Nahagian's office.
Right.
And you come walking in with the bag, the backpack.
Yeah.
And you said to Pat like right away, like, hey, can you get like asking him to pull audio? And he just turned to you and goes, I'm not ready for you.
I'm not ready for you yet. Like with an attitude.
Yes. You're like, what? He just come out and be like, I'm not ready for I'm not ready for you.
Right.
Such a pain in the
Oh yeah. I loved him. Don't get me wrong. I loved him. But I wouldn't want to share a house with him.
He produces our Flyers games, and I always have to ask him, like, when we're giving the credits at the end, like, thanks to our engineer, thanks to Pat Egan. Pat, who was on highlights tonight? And he'll give me a name of some former employee every time. Never the actual guy. He busted out a Lauren Fantini the other day.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Has he ever said my name?
No, he has never given. That'd be a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he breaks out all these former Ryan Spillman and Joe Tuzio.
That's great.
All these dead.
Mike
Muziani.
You go Murgett. Yeah.
Yeah. Murgett's made the cut. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get to some of these names for guests.
Yeah.
And I want to get your thumbs up and thumbs down to see if these are potential guests that we should reach out to try and get on the Odgies podcast. All right.
Okay.
All right. So they're all over the map. But let's start with Ruben Frank. Like, he's a good football guy, right?
Let me give you a thumbs
up. Good
up.
music guy, too.
Oh, he's a big music guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Keyboard player.
We can go to a lot of different directions with Rube. Absolutely.
Yeah. Although he is a little music snobbish. Like, he's into off the radar stuff more than anything.
Yeah, that's okay.
Rob Ellis is on the list, and he absolutely is a thumbs up. We got to get Robbie in. How about Rob's former boss, Michael Barkan?
Sure.
We got Paul.
Eddie B is here. I'd love to do something with him. Absolutely. He works with Barrett on the pre and the post game show on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Sure.
If I could just get some of his energy.
I know.
I'd love it.
I know.
All right, how about one of my favorite guys that I've worked with, and I think you and I had him as a guest a couple times. How about G Cobb?
Oh, you're kidding me? I love G.
Yes.
Yeah. I did a couple of shows with G. In fact, they were morning shows. We went down to the Trop.
That's right.
Times. Yeah. And I love working with him. He's a great football guy. Of course, played in the NFL for the Detroit Lions, the Eagles. Who else was
Cowboys?
Dallas, right? Yeah. And he played at USC in college, I believe.
Yep. He did that. Do it? Did he do that? Did he?
Oh, he did. Did he? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
You just got to hope he doesn't fall asleep.
No, stop.
He just fell asleep on when I was at WIP.
I know.
John Johnson produced it. And there's a caller on the air, and the caller's going on, and he goes, "Ain't that right, G?" Nothing, right? Happens again. G, nothing. John Johnson looks up, and G Cobb is sawing wood in the host chair. And John Johnson has no idea what to do. They're live on the air. It's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And John Johnson just turns on the mic of the producer and goes, WIP Sports Time, 12:53. It goes to break. Go wake G up.
Yeah. Well, those hours that he was doing sometimes were, those are tough hours, man.
Well, he'd eat like a pound of spaghetti in the green room.
It's
like, no wonder you're tired.
Is that right?
Yes.
All
Before
that
the
pasta
show.
sitting
Yeah.
in your gut, man.
How about DeCamera?
Yeah, of course. And talk about, I mean, he is just one of the more unique characters.
Oh,
Very, very unique.
yeah.
Very unique.
Yes. He called me a couple weeks ago. Just wanted to check in, see how the family is. Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got that WI pay. He has
Yeah.
that whole accent down.
Yeah, and he doesn't say the word league. He says the word leg.
Leg.
It drives me nuts.
Like Phil Martelli, we used to say.
Yeah, exactly.
This leg.
Yeah. Ray Didinger would be a slam dunk,
Of
obviously.
course.
How about Matty Cord?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
We're going through some of the radio people.
We'd have to hold down the Pearl Jam talk to somewhat of a minimum because he could go crazy on Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we could talk Sixers with him. We could talk all sports and of course all the music stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Angry Rob Cherry?
I never met him.
Oh, he's a great.
I've never met him. So I'm going to leave that up to you.
Yeah. Rob, he's a great guy and he's total hippie still.
Yeah. Okay.
Angry.
Nothing wrong with that.
SOB. I love him though.
Is he really angry? Because people say I'm angry too, and I'm really not.
He's jaded.
Okay. Well, he's a little cynical.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about Ross Tucker?
Of course. He's a Berks County guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lives out there now, as a matter of fact.
Well, he went to Wyomissing High School, played football they got a really good program out there.
Went to Princeton.
And he went to Princeton and then on to the NFL. Played in Washington, played in Dallas, and was it the Giants?
Was it the Giants he played for or Chart? I can't remember.
I know he was I think he was with 3 teams, and I thought they were every division team that the Eagles used to go against.
Yeah, he's a good
maybe
guy.
I'm wrong. He is a good guy.
I worked
Smart
with him.
guy.
Yeah, doing some shows for Entercom at the time when that national show that he was doing. I was doing stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
I put Selleck on the list. That's obvious. Baldy's obvious.
Yeah.
How about either Preston or Steve or both?
Is it possible to do both of those guys at the same time?
I guess it would be. They came on our radio show before.
I mean,
came down. You can't ask them about sports because they don't know that there's hockey puck at a beach ball.
No, I would want to ask them just about doing their show and music because Preston's a big time drummer.
Yeah,
and
he's a good drummer
too. Yeah, he loves like Neil Peart and Rush and all lots of stuff. And he plays golf too. He's a pretty good golfer.
Yeah, lives on a course. Matter of fact,
yeah.
my buddy lives in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
How about Joe Ganascoli?
I don't know him.
He was in The Sopranos. He was Vito.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
His number was in my phone, so I figured.
Oh, yeah.
I'd throw his name in there.
Vito.
Vito Soprano. Not Vito Soprano. Vito Spatafor was his
Spatafor.
name.
Okay.
Yeah. Golick. Yeah, that's a yes.
Yeah.
How about our old buddy Seth Joyner? It's a little intense.
He's very intense. You and I did a show with him on Mondays after Eagles games for, I think we did it 2 hours, right? The first 2 hours were with him. And he'd be great. I've been trying to get him on my YouTube show with Barrett, and Barrett can't seem to run him down. He's hard to get.
Really?
He
owes it to us to freaking come on this podcast, for Christ's sake.
I don't think Seth would look at it that way.
No, I don't think so either.
But I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah. What about I texted Caliendo, so that's an obvious one too.
Yeah.
How about John Kruk? That's baseball, Harry. You're a little anti-baseball these days.
I'd like to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not anti-John Kruk era of baseball. I used to love baseball when he played.
Yeah, me too.
Just
don't anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Mortenson's obvious. How about Buster Olney? Is that a thumbs up on Buster? He can get a little coy.
Yeah, I got nothing against him, but no, because that would have to be like hardcore baseball stuff. And I'd rather just talk to a personality guy like Kruk than Buster. No disrespect to the Vanderbilt alum.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to Kruk about baseball per se. I want to talk to Kruk about lifestyle.
Right.
How about this? This is a good one, and I think we can get him. How about Sal Pal?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. Yes.
I mean, talk about a beauty, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
When I
Did
was
shows
working,
with him too.
you did. When
Yeah.
I was working with Mike and he would call in for Tuesdays with Sal,
Mhm.
I know people love the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
He'd call up at 5:10 or I would call him at 5:09 and he'd be getting ready to go to him. And I'd put him on. I go, all right, Sal, I'm going to put you on hold. Mike will get right to you. And if Mike took more than 48 seconds,
Oh,
he would hang up and call back
yep.
and be like, don't make me. And like, I got no control here.
Right.
Mike's there just rambling on and Mike's
Right.
oblivious half time, doesn't know he's even on hold. Right.
Mhm.
And oh man, what a pain in the ass he was. But I'd like to have him on.
Yeah.
Vi,
Of course.
Mitch Williams.
Oh, yeah. He's
does a-
tremendous.
Yeah, does a podcast on the Wildfire Network as well.
He's tremendous.
And we got to get our buddy on, Colin Thompson, as well. I saw he's down in the Caribbean right now.
Yeah,
for his off season.
He'd be easy to get though, and he does a podcast. We could promote that. He does
not for long.
Not for long. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so some good names there, some good suggestions.
Yeah. Now I noticed I answered a question on the stream here, and it came up like I was answering from like 6 different accounts.
Yeah, that's just because you're logged in as through the StreamYard thing, so it answers from all of the accounts that are currently open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because somebody, Joey B said, how about Lisa Ann versus Ava Adams? I said, I know Lisa, but I'd love to know Ava.
Yeah.
That was my response, but it came through like every account. So I didn't want to attribute that to Parks Sportsbook or yourself for that matter.
Well,
that was
Lisa Ann was a guest on a radio show. She did our fantasy segment every week.
She did every Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. She was great. And
yep.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
and she's so involved in it now. She does a serious show, all kinds of stuff.
She's doing cooking stuff too now. If you
Is that right?
Follow her Instagram. Yeah, she's active.
Wow, I didn't know
that. A couple million followers too.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. Joey B on the stream said, we want more Mert stories from his meetings with Beetlejuice back in the day. When I was at YSP, we did this contest of like, you be the DJ, and we brought all these people in.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought in, the Jim Florentine, who were efforting to get on here.
Right.
All kinds of people. And Beetlejuice was one of the guys, and I had to like engineer it.
Oh man!
And I'm telling you, this Stunad couldn't say more than two words in a row without fucking up.
Oh my god!
And him and you've seen him on camera, Harry.
Yeah,
him in person is disturbing.
Yeah, a little distracting.
Yeah, that little head. No, unreal.
Yeah. So how many takes did it take until he got what you needed him to do?
Well, like I was like kind of confused. Do I want to make him sound almost polished and like he can talk, or is the charm in the fact that he can't?
I think the charm is in the fact that he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, say Metallica is coming up next, and he'd be like, metal from your, just like, I don't even know what he would say, just something totally all over the place. AJB says we need to get Bundy on.
Oh yeah.
I talked to Bundy the other day. Oh man.
Is he
He's fired up?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Now, is he a little too fired up?
On some things.
Yeah.
Okay. he's out there.
Yeah.
He's a great guy though.
He is.
Real good dude.
He is
one of the great guys to talk to.
Now, are you going to be covering this press conference live, or will you be watching it from home and maybe blogging about it or something?
Well, they're going to they've been doing all their availabilities on Zoom, but this one will be in person from what I'm told. So the media members will be there at the skate zone for it. I don't know if I will be there. I probably will watch it on Zoom. I don't ask questions in those. I'm not a beat writer. I'm not a media member, so I don't ask it, but I do have a one-on-one scheduled for him after where I will tape an interview with him for Thursday's Flyers Daily.
Nice.
So I'll be able to ask my questions then.
All right. Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow, you're like Pat McAfee with Aaron Rodgers. You get your own time.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, like usually, like I have guests whenever I want them on Flyers Daily, but in the midst of this season, I just haven't had many because who the hell wants to talk when you're in a 10-game, now 12-game losing streak?
Yeah. What is there to say?
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, I'm making it through these episodes somehow, coming up with angles, but
yeah.
I mean, like I keep saying, like we got to find a way to come to peace with the fact that this season stinks and the team is in a bad way. to find something positive to come out of it. Like, even when your team stinks, you got to find something positive, right?
Well, I don't know. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, like, you see young players getting better, draft pick, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, are they getting better, or is it fact that they're playing amongst the rest of the roster that isn't very good? Are they standouts on a bad roster?
Well, I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see guys develop. You go, okay, this guy, you want them to make their mistakes when the season doesn't matter, like a rookie mistakes. Get that shit out of the way,
right?
And then you move forward and go into next season having already made the mistakes, and hopefully the team can turn around. And the last time they had a horrible season was 06-07, Harry. That was when they traded Forsberg. They fired Ken Hitchcock and Bob Clark early in the season. That offseason, they made a ton of changes. They got Briere and Tiemann in, or Hartnell and Tiemann in from Nashville with some good trades and made some things happen. They did have more cap space than they have now, although they will have some. And they went to a conference final the next year. So, like, a lot of times in sports, like, you feel like you're really far off, and you're not as far off as you think. In a sport like hockey, especially.
Yeah.
So,
Danny Briere was one of my favorite Flyers.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Best guy I've ever covered in sport, period.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big
it's a big statement, right?
That is.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement.
He just recently went back to school because he's getting into the hockey ops management now. He was a finalist for the Canadiens GM position.
Oh, yeah?
And he ended up not getting it, but he went back to school. He went to enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School of Finance to further his skill set to be an effective general manager in the National Hockey League.
Good for him.
Yeah. Not many guys would do that. A former player?
No.
I tried to book him one day, and I said, can you do like tomorrow at like 1:00? And he said, I'm going to be in class. I'm like, class? It's like, I'm back in school.
Wow.
Back in school? You're a millionaire.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do
school.
that. I don't know if I could go back to school.
Yeah, I just hire a guy to handle that aspect of it.
Unless it would be in the Rodney Dangerfield aspect. That would be about it.
Call me when you have no class.
Right. Was that Sally Kellerman?
Yes.
Yes.
He's asking around, are you busy tonight?
Yeah.
No, not busy. I have class. What about tomorrow? I have class. Well, call me when you have no class.
It's classic. Just classic.
So great. All right, that's enough for today.
Yeah.
I feel like we've exhausted any and all material that we do have. 91L Sixers says if Jason went back to school, it'd be like Billy Madison. Very similar. I'd be in the kindergarten class in a small desk, and I'd fit.
Right. Wearing a hockey sweater.
Yes. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Nothing else to say, Harry?
No, I think that's it. I'll save the documentary I watched yesterday for next week.
Oh,
you'll appreciate it.
What's the documentary? Just tell me.
It was called Under the Volcano, and it's on Showtime on demand.
Okay. Under the Volcano.
It's about George Martin, the former Beatles producer.
Yeah, super producer.
Who went on to open his own studio, build and open his own studio post Beatles in the Caribbean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out. Also, are you watching Ozark?
No, I heard it just opened or started again the other day, right?
Yeah, last Friday. And I talked to Egan, and Egan's already got the recap because apparently he can get the stuff early. But he said, I've watched the first 3 episodes of it's part 4, or it's season 4, part 1. It's going to be in 2 parts, 7 episodes each, and it's been good so far.
Good. Well,
it's not
that's a show I had to bail on because the wife wouldn't watch it anymore. So that I only have limited time by myself to watch what I want to watch, like during the day. Yeah, because there's all this other stuff I got to do and watch. That it's really kind of put a kink in my Ozark. So I got to really carve out more time to get back into that series because it was amazing.
Yeah, we may have to have an intervention with the Lima based on that.
I don't know if you have that kind of time.
Ash posted on the comments and said, "Is Howie still mad at Mert for the Wentz story?" I'm sure he's not happy. We have not run into each other.
Yeah, was that the one about the back?
Yeah, he was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
He's sending Anthony text messages when I broke that.
Oh yeah,
saying that it was, slander and blah blah blah.
Slander.
Yeah, because my report was that he's got a fracture in his back. and that the team did not make him aware of it initially. And I had really good information, like not just that I heard, but I had it on my phone. And there was some other stuff with some other players that I didn't report. And people were saying I made it up. It was
I know one of those players you were referring to there too.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah.
And everybody was saying I made it up. It was bullshit. And I tell people all the time, I say, you know how it wasn't made up? Because I was never suspended for a day. I never retracted a single element of that story.
Yeah.
Never.
Right.
And if it was bullshit, I would have either been suspended, fired, or retracted.
Right. Neither.
Keep that in mind.
Exactly.
So, and now he's probably happy because Wentz is no longer here. He ran him out of town.
Right.
And the fans did not run him out of town. All right. What are the plays again, Harry, for the Park Sportsbook app?
I took Kansas. Yeah. Sam Burns, first round leader, minus 2,200. No, not Tom Byrne. This guy went to LSU.
Okay.
And I took the Kansas City Chiefs minus the 7.
All right. So go on the Park Sportsbook app and download it on your phone, Android or iPhone. And new customers, if you sign up now, no promo required. Just deposit, and your first bet's going to be risk-free. And you can do it on one of those aforementioned ones that Harry has. Maybe, you cash in a nice ticket to get started. Even if you're using another app, another service, try the Parks one. It's really simple to use. So we highly encourage people to do that. Follow them on at Park Sportsbook on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. You'll get daily specials, all kinds of stuff, and player performances and same game parlays, live in-game betting. It's awesome.
Yeah, and all the video content too on their social media too is a lot. It's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, so much. Mike Quick was doing stuff. Rich Gannon, all kinds.
Rich Gannon, yeah.
So good stuff. All right, that's going to put a wrap on episode 8. Everybody, leave us a rating and review. Subscribe if you have not. We got some new reviews in. Maybe we'll read some of those coming up in an episode on the way as well. But have a good one. We'll crank it up again next week.
You got it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Odd G's podcast.